Oh, hey y'all. Oh, stretching. Oh, goodness, that's so good. Hey y'all, it's your girl Stephanie. This is Wrestling Color Podcast right here on YouTube. Make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all those. Make sure you contribute and check out me on my Patreon podcast, Shit to Sugar, which is a podcast geared toward the Black American, African American, Negro American experience in all things pop and political. Things that I will not be able to say without a paywall because you motherfuckers are crazy. Welcome all new subbies. Take your shoes off, please have a seat, and let's have the conversation. So, what are we talking about? I'm talking about NXT. I'm talking about NXT having difficulty in this so-called Wednesday night wars that NXT did not sign up for, did not ask to be thrusted into. But to Vince McMahon, it was the only logical brand to go up against AEW Dynamite. That hasn't been bolding well. Sometimes they got up, majority of the times they got down. So, everybody listens to Dave Meltzer. And Dave Meltzer said that Vince McMahon's solution, or WWE's management solution, to getting NXT to stop losing ratings has been to hire more writers. PWI Insider reported this week that they have hired 2 to 3 more writers for NXT. This will give more fuel to the critics of NXT who say that the show needs less writers so wrestlers can get more organic sounding promos. On AEW Dynamite, wrestlers are basically given bullet points, and for the most part, they're able to speak in a way that they would normally speak. AEW has resisted hiring writers, and fans say that has made the show stand out from SmackDown and Raw. NXT has lost in the key demo, which is what? 18 to 49, I think, or 18 to 35. I think 18 to 35. It will be interesting to see what adding new rides to the product will do. Let me explain something to y'all. If you go back into my previous, if you go back to my previous podcast, I talked about the Smarks versus the Marks, and NXT was a gem among a lot of dusty gems on the WWE network. NXT been around almost 10 years. If you go back, and I've done this a lot, I've sat and I've watched old episodes of NXT and enjoyed every minute of it because these were wrestlers or people who were green, didn't really get how things work specifically, and they were learning and they were, developing. And to see your wrestlers that you follow from NXT go to the main roster and be destroyed and end up being released is very, very painful. NXT has something that SmackDown and Raw don't have. NXT has heart, or as Edge put it, grit. The storyline makes sense. 2 hours of NXT and you were good to go. 1 hour of NXT, I believe it was 1 hour when it was on WWE Network, and you got everything you needed to get. What also made NXT good was it was recorded. This gave the opportunity for the talent to kind of get a playback. Like when football players run the plays and they record themselves and then they watch it to see where they're fucking up and where they could tweak. This gives them the opportunity to do that. You have taken that opportunity away from incoming NXT stars and stars that are there now. I don't think this is a good idea to hire more writers and to have people sound like Charlotte Flair when they are giving a monologue. I don't think you should not have wrestlers giving long, drawn out speeches. Someone like Shayna Baszler is not the type that should be standing up there giving speeches. And that was one thing that I hate when Becky Lynch used to talk and lick her lips and fake like she's chewing gum and your dope, so your dope. It's like, bitch, go in the ring, call the motherfucker to the ring, beat their ass, be the man. It's like when y'all gave fucking Ronda Rousey this long monologue and she got nervous because the crowd was not having it. Okay, the crowd was not dealing with her shit. She got nervous and she said, "Okay, guys, you got me." And she had this little weird look on her face, and then finally she was able to do it. Don't put these people in a position where they're going to trip and fall on live TV. Don't do that. Now, being that it's a pandemic, a lot of these shows have been taped, but they're not being taped for the purpose of developmental. They're being taped because it's saving the money and it's a pandemic. So you have to, work within the confines of the law. Now, the problem that I'm about to have is NXT is going to turn into SmackDown and Raw. And NXT is going to lose its grit. And NXT is just going to become another show that you just watch out of habit. Now, I could be wrong, but I wasn't wrong when I said don't put NXT in this war. Use one of your older brands to do that. And they chose not to. And Finn Balor and people who went back down to NXT went back down to get the fuck away from the main roster. You can now see where Vince has put his fingers in NXT with matches where 2 belts on the line. All of a sudden, everything's 2 belts. Where the big people are being more pushed to the forefront. Where the blonde, who's next to Karrion Kross, is being more prominent. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. I think the best way to improve NXT's ratings is either leave it on WWE Network, put it back in Triple H hands, or move it to Thursday nights. That's it. That's it. Or move it to Tuesdays because SmackDown used to be on Tuesdays. Mondays Raw, Tuesdays NXT, Friday is SmackDown. Because if you're gonna keep it on, I'm gonna tell you right now. When I watch wrestling on Wednesdays, I'm not watching NXT. I'm not. Now, I will see when Bianca was wrestling, and she was the star of that feud between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I did watch that. I did. I turned it to it, and I was not disappointed because Beyonce was the star. And the thing is, Bianca is now sporadically being put on Raw. I want her to be going after the Raw Championships or go get her a tag team partner and go after the fucking tag team championships. There is no brand split. There is no brand split, so I'm not really understanding why this is an issue. I just feel it's been consistently going downhill, and it's really going to start sucking. And people like Finn Balor and other Japanese wrestlers like Io Shirai and the Chinese wrestler, I forgot her name. Damn it. They're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it and they're gonna just it's just not gonna work. It's not. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think the ills of the main roster is gonna infect NXT and NXT is gonna lose its luster and I'm not gonna be able to watch it. I think you should just move NXT to Tuesdays. Also, I think you need to start respecting the audience that grew up with you. Now, I understand that WWE is going after casual fans, but the casual fans aren't going to be there at the third hour. The diehard fans are going to be there at the third hour. The casual fan is not interested in NXT. The diehard fans are watching NXT. And I think Vince McMahon, although he hates his audience, he hates people telling him what to do, I think he needs to hurry up and start fortifying the audience that grew up with WWE. Because when we leave, it takes maybe 5, almost 6, 7 years for them to come back. There was a point in time where I left WWE for about 4 or 5 years because I said, you know what, I'm tired of this. And I took a break for about 4 to 5 years. Some people take break 10, 15 years or grow out of it. And then they slowly come back like, oh, what's going on? And then to see what they're seeing. WWE, Vince, and whoever's in charge, I'm asking y'all, please don't fuck up NXT. Don't fuck up NXT for casual viewers. You need to fortify the viewers, the viewers that grew up with y'all who are actually watching these shows. You need to fortify it. If you don't get the 18 to 35 demographic, I know that's a hot graphic. Let AEW have that. You got the 35 and older demographic. You got the Law and Order demographic. You got the motherfucking Hawaii 5-0 demographic watching. I'm a part of that demographic because if I hear that clunk clunk, my whole day's over. It's ruined. I'm sitting there. I'm watching it. I'm not doing nothing else. But if I see some good wrestling, I'm going to watch it. But when I see karaoke and I see wrestlers being handled, fucked up, and things like that, I'm going to speak on it. And no wrestling promotion is above reproach. NXT prior to the pandemic, prior to the inception of AEW, was a stellar product. The women's division NXT was the best in the world. And y'all pretty much gutted it at this point. Okay? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's a good idea to script it and have these people who are trying to get their footing in the way that WWE does their filmings and things like that. I don't think you having them read these stupid ass monologues and these undertones of offensive shit that you put in there because you think it's funny is gonna help anyone. It's gonna turn them off. Cause believe me, when Charlotte was on 3 nights a week, I was watching Kung Kung, Law and Order, SVU. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Does having NXT get more writers help NXT or hurt NXT? Do you think moving NXT to a new time slot, a new day maybe, would help them? Do you think WWE need to bow out of these fucking Wednesday night wars? Because a lot of wrestling's going on. We're gonna watch it, especially if you have the WWE network. I think WWE is doing entirely too much. Y'all let me know what you think. Hit me in the comments. I'm gonna see you here on the next podcast. This is Wrestling in Color, and I'll talk to y'all.